If we as a global society truly want to repair all of the damage that has been done to our environment and protect what is left, we must accept that conservation is an economic problem, and therefore it requires an economic solution. Worldwide, business is increasingly focused on setting and adhering to climate and nature-based targets. There is wide recognition that taking action on climate change and nature repair is urgent. One of the critical reasons for this rising awareness is because our entire economy runs on the raw materials that nature and our environment supply. That's why businesses and governments are recognising more and more that taking action to mitigate climate change and to repair and preserve our natural environment is an economic imperative. Our projects are run in partnership with landholders, and the work that we do aims to drive private sector finance into the land sector to drive conservation outcomes.
Green Collar started its work in around 2011 in the Western Division of New South Wales in Australia. We started working with landholders and interested parties who wanted to adapt their land management practices so that primary production and conservation could work hand in hand. Together, we've developed and run projects that are designed to protect and enhance natural assets, such as wetlands and forests, all in scientifically chosen landscapes. As the methods developed, our partners expanded to include farmers, graziers, traditional owner groups, and conservationists. We've since expanded our scope beyond carbon to include biodiversity, water quality, and plastics. We also partner on projects internationally and have a number of projects in Africa, as well as an office in Washington, DC.
Climate change and nature loss are inextricably linked to each other. Traditionally, we have managed these in separate ways. At Green Collar, we're trying to bring those two together because we're at an important point in human history where, in order to save the planet, we must manage these at the same time. Since 1970, we've lost a staggering 68% of global wildlife populations. Added to this, it's estimated that 1 million species are headed for extinction due to changes in habitat, pollution, and climate change. Nature Plus is a scientifically robust biodiversity credit scheme. It's designed to provide long-term incentives for conservation and land managers. Once biodiversity gains are independently verified and audited, a project can create a biodiversity credit. One credit equals an improvement in biodiversity over 1 hectare. Green Collar's portfolio of projects currently include over 300 active projects spanning an area of over 6 million hectares. There's tremendous opportunity to improve biodiversity, both in Australia and internationally, using Nature Plus.
The Reef Credit Scheme was developed as a market-based mechanism to address water quality in the Great Barrier Reef ecosystem. It is important because poor water quality is the second biggest threat to the reef behind climate change. Reef credits are verified outcomes generated by the improvement of land management practices. These measured outcomes are audited and independently third-party verified. 1 reef credit represents 1 kilogram of dissolved inorganic nitrogen or 538 kilograms of fine sediment that have been prevented from entering the waters of the Great Barrier Reef. That's real, that's tangible, and that is something you can report against. The Reef Credit Scheme is not just for the Great Barrier Reef. It can be applied to other reef ecosystems or waterways worldwide. Green Collar is also involved in the Verra-administered plastic credits. We have developed a project in far north Queensland in which we collect plastics used to wrap growing bananas so that these plastics don't end up in the environment. 1 plastic credit represents 1 ton of plastic that has been prevented from entering the environment.
For Green Collar to be confident in our project outcomes, we try and operate in an environment that's as transparent as possible and ensure that all the work that we do is underpinned by the latest science and technology and innovation. Therefore, we invest heavily in in-house research and development. In addition to our in-house capacity for R&D, we also collaborate with external partners through universities and other research organisations. Our R&D deals with evidence, not assumptions, which is why we can be confident in the environmental outcomes of our projects. Our research activities are not just solely about remote monitoring or desktop modelling. We also look at direct observations on ground. So that's boots out there on our projects. That gives us the best possible understanding of the outcomes of our projects. Having this reliable evidence is crucial to our investors who buy our credits.
If we are to succeed at reversing and repairing damage that has been done to our environment and climate, we, everyone, business, governments and everyday people, need to come at these challenges from as many angles as possible, with all of the tools we have at our disposal. These projects and environmental markets are just one of those tools, but they are a critically important one.